Lesufi, in collaboration with the police, is closing illegal schools in the province. For more on this, we cross to our reporter, Nosipho Mncube. Thanks very much, Nosipho, for joining us. Just tell us what's happening where you are. Nosipho, can you hear me? It's Nompu. Can you hear me? What's happening where you are?
Yes.
Hi, Nosipho, go for it. Okay, she seems to be...
Hi, Nompu. Yes, we're coming from Ebony Park, where we've just seen a few of the schools being shut down in Ivory Park, and now we've moved to Ebony Park, where we're seeing another school that's being assessed and inspected by the MEC of Education, the Gauteng MEC of Education, Mr. Panyaza Lesufi. We know that they visited this area before. I think it was last year, where about 20 schools were shut down already. They've identified an issue with the area and having bogus schools. But to speak to me more about today, I have with me Steve Mabona, who is the Gauteng Education spokesperson. Steve, thank you for your time. We've now moved to Ebony Park, but can you just speak to us about what we've seen in Ivory Park today?
Well, bad conditions and a non-conformity with the regulations. Remember, when you operate an independent school, you must be registered with the department. And it's even it's an irony that when you see their branding, they even have our logo, of the department. I mean, that's fraud. They are not even, allowed to operate, but they even use our logos. So MEC gave our officials just 48 hours to consolidate information that they said they have submitted, because they claim that they've submitted some form of documentation. So we were going with the officials from the city as well, the city of Johannesburg, to also assess, the environment, whether is it conducive or not for schooling. But when you look at the classes and the check on the number of learners that are in the school, I mean the premises that we went to, you can see that there's overcrowding already there, and there's illegal immigrants in terms of your educators, because police had to take about 8 for verification processes, and they confirmed to us that even the principal must be arrested for contravening immigration laws. So that's what we have now today. But now at the last school now here, this one, I mean, even if they were to submit, it's highly unlikely that they will be approved, because the structure that they've used to build the school, it's something that is meant to be a fence. They've utilized it to build. When you look at the other containers that they use, which are housing learners, it's containers that you can't even use as a form of a classroom. So you can see that it's an illegal school that really we need to do something about.
Have you been able to see some of the learning material that these schools are using? Can you speak on the quality of the education that the children are receiving?
Look, they claim that there's quality education. In some quarters, one official was claiming that there's quality education, but we said you cannot compromise the quality of education by probably not conforming fully to what is required. Because as a school, you must be registered and you must be given permission to do so by the department. You cannot say, I have submitted documents, I'm waiting for a response. In the meantime, let me then operate. It's unheard of. I mean, you operate illegal, and when something is illegal, it's illegal. So even the curriculum, I mean, you can go to our website and download documents there and utilize those, because remember, information is available. We are available. I mean, during the lockdown, we had to pump into our platforms any information that parents will then be in a position to support their learners, including the packages that we sent to parents. Then as an addition, we'll have a curriculum material that you can access in our website. So one can go there and access material and say, yes, I'm teaching quality education, but only to find that some of their educators are not SABC compliant. If the South African Council of Educators does not know you, then you cannot, operate because you are not approved to be an educator in this country.
All right, so now that we have seen that this is not the first time something like this occurs within Ebony Park, you've shut down 20 schools already last year. Have you identified what the issue really is in Ivory Park with regard to the bogus schools? Is there an issue with the number of schools within the area, with the costs that the parents cannot afford at the schools? What is the issue with the Ivory Park area?
Look, MEC will tell you that in some quarters, the quality of education that they claim to give these learners, when we place them in our schools, some because they don't cope, then you will decide to come back. I mean, the school that we are standing on now on this ground, they were operating somewhere else last year. They are among those that we have shut down last year. They decided to go to a new location and open the school, and then they operate and they say, we have submitted documents waiting for the department to approve, which is quite sad. So what we're going to be doing, we'll make sure that all learners are placed in the different schools that we have in the area. Though we need to really concede that the capacity is our challenge, but we will make sure that we place, like as we said, those that in the previous schools that we went, we must make sure that we have a desktop placement process that to say, where are we going to place these learners? And we are starting with that process. We must also meet the parents, because parents need to know what's going to be the way forward. So we've arranged meetings. Tomorrow we'll be meeting parents in the area so that we give them guidance on what is it that we're going to be doing moving forward.
Thank you very much. That's Steve Mabona from Gauteng Education speaking to us about today's events taking place, where we're seeing them shutting down and looking at some of these bogus schools that have been open in the area, saying that he will be meeting, or the department rather will be meeting with some of the parents as well to speak to them. I had an opportunity to speak to some parents as well, most of them who were not aware of the fact that the schools that their children are being sent to are actually not registered with the department, and torn between taking them out and keeping them within the school for the rest of the year, because they do not know the way going forward for them right now. But that's it from here. Back to you in studio.
Thanks very much, Nosipho, for that report.